And it was a total surrender that was not needed. We could have at least gotten a year-long extension. And that's why I became the first member of Congress to call for Chuck Schumer to step down and be replaced as the minority leader.
So in the previous video, right before this one, we discussed the government reopening. Now I want to give a big shout out again. Very big shout out to the 7 Democrat senators that it took, plus 1 independent, to get this government reopened. Now let's get into a little bit of some of the details of these people who voted yes to reopen the government. So Democrat Senator Shaheen, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name, she sided with the GOP to reopen the government along with 6 other Democrats plus an independent. Now I want to go straight into a clip of her reaction and her comments about coming against her own party and aligning with the GOP to open this government. Let's get into it right now.
Well, this is an opportunity for us to continue to fight on extending the premium tax credits and the cost of health care and making sure that Americans know who's on their side and who's opposed. And I introduced a bill to extend the premium tax credits. That's my legislation. I did that in the very beginning. Introduced the 2 extensions. That was my first legislation this year, and I intend to continue to fight for that. And hopefully the Republicans may hear us. But all those people who opposed this agreement, staying in a shutdown mode was not getting us anywhere. And they need to train their fire on the people who are responsible. That's President Donald Trump, it's Speaker Johnson, and it's the Republicans who have blocked every attempt to get health care. We need to be working together. That's what I intend to do.
Now, as you can see, it takes a lot of courage to get in front of the American people, but not just them, in front of their own party and admit that you had voted yes to reopen the government. Because I know deep down in all 8 of their hearts, this fight was an unwinnable, unnecessary fight to hold the American citizens' benefits hostage, especially this snap right before the holidays come. Now, we're going to get straight into another clip from Democrat Senator Ro Khan, who's actually asking for the resignation of Chuck Schumer, who's the minority leader of the Democrat parties.
Explain that. Why should Schumer step down?
Well, first of all, some of the senators who voted yes were asked explicitly today, was leadership consulted or did you do this rogue? And they all said leadership was consulted. So he gave the green light for this deal. And anyone who's covered Congress or been part of one of these bodies knows how this stuff works. If Schumer really didn't want this to happen, he could have at least come out publicly and said these folks are defying what I want. But he didn't do that. He was basically orchestrating a deal, and that I respect Senator Schumer's role in the Biden administration. He was critical on the CHIPS Act. He and I co-led that together in the House. He in the Senate. He was critical on the Inflation Reduction Act. He was critical on infrastructure. This is not taking away from him, but he's just not up for the fight that we have right now. And it's time for him to retire.
Now, it wasn't just Senator Ro Khan who called for the resignation of Chuck Schumer. Also, I'm going to play a clip of a show that I probably won't be playing a lot of clips of because it's really annoying. Sunny Hostin of The View actually called for Chuck Schumer to also step down. And it's because she says that he lacks the leadership that it takes to get things done on the Democratic side. Now let's get into this clip.
Like if Hakeem Jeffries could keep his caucus together, everyone in line, nobody capitulating, nobody moving, and Chuck Schumer lost 8. He didn't even vote with the 8. That says so much. You are the minority leader of the Senate, and you could not keep your caucus in line. It means it's time for him to go.
All right. Is that your message to the Democratic leadership right now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Schumer is not an opposition party leader, and that's what we need.
Now, like I said in the previous video, I want to make it clear that the Republicans did not sign off on the $35 billion that the Democratic Party wanted to reopen the government with. We did not blindly sign or vote for anything like this to happen. Now, if you want to know all the stipulations that the government is going to open with, then you can watch the previous video right before this. But I want to stress it. I can't stress it enough. It's very important to mention that they were holding these benefits hostage. Now let's get into another clip of some Democrats giving their responses and their reasoning for why they voted for the government to be reopened. Let's get into it.
Why did you decide to vote with Republicans to open the government?
Well, Joe, you have to go back to what the strategy was at the beginning of the shutdown. There were two goals, both of which I support. One was standing up to Donald Trump. The other was getting some resolution on the ACA premium tax credit issue. The problem was the shutdown wasn't accomplishing either goals, and there was there was zero likelihood that it was going to. In terms of standing up to Donald Trump, the shutdown actually gave him more power, Exhibit A being what he's done with SNAP and SNAP benefits across the country.
Now, you've seen some reactions and some reasoning behind why the government was reopened, why some of these Democrat senators and even independents, or one independent actually, voted to reopen the government. Now, I want to mention something that Trump had mentioned that may be a surprise to a lot of the American citizens, especially elected officials. So Trump actually recommended federal workers who remained working should get a bonus of about $10,000. The ones who've been staying in the game. Now, you would think that it's a lot, and it is a lot for most Americans. I mean, it's a lot for me. I could definitely use $10,000, but I wasn't a federal worker who was going 2 checks without getting paid 2 checks, you know. So sometimes something like this could actually be motivation for federal workers to be like, you know, and a big thank you too to staying in the game and helping the nation continue to run. Now, it's not going to be a fast recovery when it comes to this government reopening. Now, some reports, and I've seen some people mention, especially in the airline industry, that it'll take possibly up to 2 weeks for things to get back to normal. Like I mentioned in a previous video, about 50 flights are still delayed or canceled. And that's still going to continue, and it might worsen until the government officially opens and things get back on program. Now, I want you guys to comment below what you guys think about these Democrat senators plus one independent who voted yes and aligned with the GOP and went against their own party. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below about their reasoning. And also, I want to hear about what you guys think about the $10,000 possible bonus that these federal workers who remained in the game might receive. Until the next video, God bless you guys.